Hi, everyone, and welcome to Strategic Wealth Strategies with our host, Alan Porter. Alan, how are you, man? What's going on?
Doing great today. It's about 85 degrees here in North Carolina.
Well, in Texas, it's only 70, and I was in Pittsburgh this weekend. It was 75. I'm confused. So there you go. We just the weather is turning upside down in so many ways, and we're going to talk about a bunch of different things. What I've learned, and I guess this is the process. I'm going to ask these questions, but I'm probably going to ask some follow up with our expert Alan Porter. Is Alan really sees things differently than a lot of financial planners do? The reason is because they try to take you in a vehicle like a 401k or a diversified program and don't look a lot at life programs and ways that you can save money in taxes. They don't look at the long term. They look at what are the returns every year, not at the end what you're going to pay. So, Alan, I appreciate you again being the host of this podcast. And I'm going to go with the first question for you. Why are you different than most conventional financial planners? And I kind of already summarized that from how long we've been doing the podcast so far.
Well, Neil, when we first met and I told you about my background being in the military and everything, the tragic things that happened to my family, I was like 99% of the people out there that thought insurance products, you had to die to benefit from it. Well, if it's not one for insurance products, a terminal illness rider on my daughter's, my wife's, uh, my son's wife, who died at age 39 of pancreatic cancer. She had a terminal illness rider, let her access the death benefit with one year of diagnosis. And it was tax free. I knew nothing about it. But other things that happened to my family, my son's 100% disabled. My daughter she contracted breast cancer, had double mastectomy, 16 chemo treatments, 35 radiation treatments. And now she's got Graves' disease with Bulgingite syndrome, and she's on her fourth, I think it's an infusion she has. The first one was like $30-some thousand. The second was $86,000, and she got these more to go. I don't know how the rest of them cost, and then about 6 months ago, I had to put my brother in a nursing home because he has Alzheimer's, and these are all covered by insurance products. If it wasn't for insurance products, not only my family, but many families would be bankrupt and destitute right now. But I'm different than most conventional financial planners. Now, I want people to understand I'm a registered investment advisor, and I treat my business just like a doctor. I ask question after question, and I expect those questions answered, because if I don't have those questions answered, I would come up with some feasibility study or some financial plan. It would be malpractice on my part.
Right.
Certified financial fiduciary. And I don't do anymore. I don't do assets under management because I got a real problem with being paid a fee whether the client makes money or not. But I do have a team of people that if my client wants us to do a stock and bond portfolio, that is fine. I want people to be diversified. And when I talk about diversification, it's not diversification in a stock portfolio. It's a diversification of your assets, whether it's fixed indexed annuities, cash value life insurance, a stock portfolio, 401k, tax deferred money, guaranteed money, using your home equity as one of your financial avenues that's going to help you delete the risk in retirement. But I know how to put them all together to give you the best, hopefully, the optimum retirement system, because there's not the best. There's only the optimum. And I show people how to have a guaranteed income. And the other thing, too, is I would say 99% of the financial planners that I've talked to have no idea what I'm talking about, because they usually, I would say 95% of them are stock and bond portfolio only. They don't advise on the rest of the stuff that I do, like saving taxes. And I asked people, I said, when's the last time your CPA, your financial advisor, or your attorney ever give you any proactive advice in saving and planning for taxes? Well, it's always retroactive. The CPA wants the correct numbers for your tax return. The financial planner wants to find you the best investment to make you the most money. And your attorney he's concerned with wills and trusts and legal documentation like that. But one of the things I tell people, especially business people, what's your number one expense? And they hem-haw around and tell me many things. But the number one expense is taxes. And if I can show people how to save taxes and possibly eliminate or reduce both debt and taxes, it's going to make a huge difference in their life. And I find this just amazing, because I never started this. I'm 69. I started this on a little over 12 years ago, and I was in the mortgage business. But Neil, this stuff that I'm talking about should be taught in high school.
Yeah.
And it's not. I know doctors with degrees in finance, they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Exactly. So what is your feeling about life insurance?
Well, I think it's the absolute greatest product in the world. All life insurance policies, whether they're term life insurance, whether they're whole life, cash value, uh, they all serve a purpose, and that's to protect the family and protect their assets. And understand, life insurance is the only product that will protect you if you live too long, die too soon, or get sick. And what I mean by that, if you live too long, through the cash value, you take policy loans out, and that money's guaranteed for the rest of your life. In the cash value, you become your own bank. I show people how to become your own bank. If you die too soon, with a tax-free death benefit for your beneficiaries, so they can carry on the life like you had before. And if you get sick, and this is something that people do not understand, long-term care is going to affect 70% of Americans in the United States, and people aren't prepared for it. It costs between $50,000 to $200,000 a year and goes up by probably 6% a year. But if you can use that, just like my daughter-in-law, she had a terminal illness rider, she ought to access the death benefit, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars, more than what you'd have in a stock portfolio, and it was tax-free.
We don't know when these emergencies are going to happen.
Exactly right.
We don't know when things are going to change. And we have to be prepared.
40% of the people right now, Neil, on long-term care between the ages of 18 and 64. And this is an 8-lab study by Dr. Korsky at MIT University. If you're married and age 65, there's a 60 or 75% chance of you or your spouse contacting Alzheimer's, dementia, or Parkinson's. And that's a study.
Surely. What is your feeling about annuities?
Oh, I love annuities. And people say, well, there's a guy named Ken Fisher. I hate annuities. And so should you. Sent for this free report. I have safe investments. Well, he doesn't have safe investments because he invests in stocks and bonds. So I wrote back to him. I can't comment anymore on him. But I said, why don't you tell people the truth about annuities? There's 3 types of annuities. There's variable annuities, which I don't promote because their fees are very high, over 4%. And it may be a 5-star annuity at this point, but five months later, it's a 1-star. But I promote fixed and fixed indexed annuities, Neil, because you've got to have guaranteed income in retirement just to pay for the necessities of life. And this is a fact proven by another study. If you have guaranteed income, you'll have a 20% longer life. You do not have as much stress as you have, and you're much healthier because you don't have to worry about things.
No doubt.
Here's another big thing. We just did a podcast last week on how to retire like a millionaire on $1 million stock portfolio, with 2/3 of that portfolio using a fixed indexed annuity. You remember that?
Yeah.
We got $1 million at a 4% distribution rate. Well, I'll just do it for 4%. That 4% distribution rate, that's not guaranteed. That has a 30 to 40% chance of failure. And that's not guaranteed at all. But you don't have to have approximately $650,000 in certain fixed and fixed indexed annuities to give you the same $40,000. Okay, $40,000, and that's guaranteed for life. And you can use that other $350,000 to turn that IRA that you turn into a fixed indexed annuity into a Roth. Now, no longer do you have required minimum distribution. It does not affect taxation or Social Security or the means testing from Medicare Part B, which is going to be in the thousands of dollars per year. And people are not aware of this.
Why is the accumulation of assets pre-retirement different than post-retirement?
Well, this is a whole new ballgame in retirement. And people always say, I always like this one commercial that says, what's your number? What do you mean, what's money? What's the number? What's the amount of money that you need to have in assets to secure retirement? Well, first off, it's not about assets. I can show you how to have income, but you have no assets left, and I'll guarantee that income for the rest of your life. It's not about rate of return in retirement. It's about distribution of assets. Because the older you get, like in fixed and fixed index annuities, the higher the distribution rate is. And again, it's rate of return. People ask me, well, what's my rate of return on my annuity? I said, well, it depends on how long you live. The longer you live, the greater your return on your annuity. And people say, well, how's this absolutely possible? And I said, because insurance companies have what they call mortality credits. They're the only one that can manufacture these. Stock portfolio can't, savings account can't, real estate can't. Insurance companies have it covered on both ends. If you die too soon with life insurance, or if you live too long through fixed indexed annuities, there's absolutely no comparison to insurance products that grow tax deferred. You get your interest, your distributions tax free, do not accept or cause taxation of Social Security or the Medicare or the means testing Medicare Part B. They avoid probate. They're protected from lawsuits, liens, and judgments. They're the greatest college funding vehicle out there. You can become your own bank. Neil, the list goes on and on.
What is your opinion concerning retirement planning and long-term care? I mean, a long-term care is one that, and I'm interested, and I have a follow-up question to that as well. But what is your opinion concerning retirement planning and
The
long-term
thing is,
care?
people need to start thinking about long-term care long before they go into retirement.
No doubt, because the money is just enormous.
There's an enormous
You
amount
know,
of
a
money.
nursing home or an assisted living or wherever, they're going to be draining your bank account.
Right. Well, here's the problem. A lot of people have long-term care insurance, and they take it out when they're 50 years old, and they die in their sleep at 70. Well, it's just like term insurance. Less than, I think, 2% or 1% of term insurance is ever paid out, and you paid all that money for nothing. But if you have a cash value life insurance policy, that death benefit, 90% of that death benefit is tax-free, and you can use it for long-term care. And that's absolutely huge. Because you think about in insurance, Neil, you pay pennies on the dollar for thousands of dollars in protection. And it's something that people need to understand, because they don't do it. They don't understand. And they think it's not going to happen to them. But I can show people how to invest in these products and protect themselves from long-term care, protect themselves from running out of money. I mean, the list goes on and on again.
What are some risks in retirement?
Oh, risk in retirement, you've got interest rate risk. When you get your 401k, it's the government decides what interest rates you're going to pay back when you go to pay those taxes. You've got liquidity risk, okay? Sequence returns risk. I've explained this several times. If you have a loss in the first 3 years of a 10-year period as compared to the last 3 years of a 10-year period, and the stock portfolio is the only vehicle that you're taking out your money for retirement, your retirement's going to be decimated. You've got reemployment risk. You've got employer insolvency risk, loss of spouse risk, longevity risk. Longevity risk is a risk multiplier. Inflation risk, health expense risk. And the number one risk in retirement, Neil, and I can protect people from that, is living too long, the fear of living too long and running out of money before you die.
How do banks feel about life insurance?
Well, let me tell you what. You can go to FDIC.gov or .com, and you can bring up every major asset of every major bank in the United States. And they have over $200 billion of cash value life insurance as one of their top tier one assets. It's more than twice as much as they have in real estate. And it's something that people don't understand. And I tell people, I said, listen, banks have cash value life insurance as one of their top tier one assets. I want you to think about something. These are supposed to have the greatest financial minds in the world. And don't you think that if they have these cash value life insurance policies for their banks or for their corporations, don't you think you ought to have it as part of your portfolio?
Totally. So, I mean, it makes so sense. If they think that value is so important, Alan, why don't we do what banks are doing?
Exactly right. That's, don't reinvent the wheel. Do what successful people do.
Right. And what is your opinion about the best financial vehicle?
Well, I personally myself, that's my opinion and opinion of many other people that are properly educated, cash value life insurance. And I've got one plan, it's called the Kaizen plan. And I think it's the absolute greatest thing since sliced bread. It's premium financial life insurance for the small businessman or the small owner. As an example, it's a 5-year plan. You put in $50,000 a year for 5 years. The bank puts in $50,000 a year for 5 years. And then the next 5 years, the bank puts in $100,000. So understand this, you're leveraging your money 3 to 1. Now the bank has to be paid back, and it'll be paid back in approximately the 14th year through the cash value of the policy. But it'll increase your income and death benefit by 60 to 100%. And there's nothing else that will do that. You sign no contract, you make no guarantees, you post no collateral, and you pay no interest.
Right.
With regular premium financing, first off, you've got to make millions of dollars. You've got to post collateral, pay interest, sign loan documents, and qualify every year.
Hmm.
This Kaizen plan is absolutely great. And for young people, especially 40, 50 years old, we've got people that are doing this not once, but twice, and they're coming up on their third anniversary.
And businesses do this too, right?
All the time. You can
Using cash value life insurance.
all the time. Do a defined benefit plan for yourself. It's a certain type of defined benefit plan, but you can buy cash value life insurance and fixed indexed annuities in that defined benefit plan.
And you also get tax breaks for a business, right? When you do this.
Yeah. It's just like contributing to a 401k. It's a tax. Think about it. You get a tax deduction. It grows tax deferred, and you get your distributions tax free. It doesn't get any better than that.
Wow, a lot of great information today, Alan. And I think that the thing that we're going to continue to learn about is that the process, depending on what age you are, different things. You also look at other financial vehicles like a Roth IRA, but definitely not a mutual funds, right? Not.
I don't care for mutual funds because they've got high fees. And I've got a Forbes article that I can show people their fees in a mutual fund are over 4%.
Mm.
And a 1% fee in a 30-year period will reduce your income by 1/3. People don't know that. And it's just like a 401k. The average fee, and this is a Forbes article by Lap Times, the average 401k across the United States, the average fee is 2.99%. And when I ask people about the fees in their 401k, they have no idea. They think it's a 0.5% or 1%. Well, that's just part of the deal. That does not encompass the whole thing. And until lately, the people who manage these funds didn't even have to show what expenses were.
Mm. Yeah. All right. So great information that you provide. Where's the best place people can find information on you, Alan?
Well, they can call me at 910-551-1046. Again, that's 910-551-1046. Or they can email me at strategicwealth, the number 0 at gmail.com. Again, that is strategicwealth, the number 0 at gmail.com. And they can also look me up on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Appreciate it, Alan.
You bet.
All right. That was Strategic Wealth Strategies, guys. Take care.